Hi Scorpio, this is your July 2020 tarot forecast. So this is for Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Moon, Scorpio Rising, and Scorpio Venus signs. I hope you enjoyed your June 2020 general tarot reading. This is for the whole month. And what do you need to know? Messages for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus for July 2020. Messages for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, July 2020. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, July 2020. Oops. Messages for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for July 2020. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, July 2020. No jumpers even for you. That's pretty crazy. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, July. Alright folks, let's get out your Celtic cross for you. I'll be using the bottom of the deck energy for the month for you. So there's a little argument that feels like it was very taxing at the beginning of the month there, or at least, wow, so we're dealing with a couple of fives. There is an end to money troubles. Wow, old hurts. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. All right, guys, so Four of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So this is sort of the basket that your reading sits in. Four of Wands is a wish card, in my view. It's an 11-11 card. The wands are usually 1, 2. It's the foundation of a happy home, essentially. But it's, you know, the four corners. If you're Chinese, that's probably not going to be good luck to you. The number 4 is not good luck. However, it's very stable. In Western culture, number 4 is a very stable card. It's also the card of the home, and the card of it shares some energy here with the Chariot, which is ruled by Cancer, and of course that's 4th house, and that's like relationships with the mother and your intuition and the basis of a happy home. It's also, in my view, sort of first triggers or old hurts, that type of thing. But stuff that you're aware of. But you and at least one other person are going to be focusing on, at least for this month of July, like a happy home situation. No matter what difficulties may appear here, a happy home is assured to you. We have a couple of majors. We have the High Priestess, we have the Death card, we have Temperance, and then of course Chariot. So we're looking at some moon energy, some Jupiter. Of course, we're looking here at Scorpio energy, your own influence, and then Cancer energy here. So there could be some sensitivity here as well. And then the moon being in relation to the High Priestess is intuition. It's extreme intuition, possibly around work or service. And we'll get to that in just a moment. So the situation is the 5 of Swords in the month of July, and then crossing that is the 10 of Wands. So, you know, a difficult situation, including possibly an argument that's going to get over really quickly. We're dealing with, you know, something pretty low on the totem with a 5. And the 5s always indicate chaos or confusion anyway. But it's, you know, no one really wants to see a 5, but no one will grow without it. So the lucky thing about it that I consider is the 10 on top of the 5, the 10 of Wands, which means that you're now over it. You can just move in a new direction. The 10 of Wands was really just saying, it feels like it's all uphill, but I see the end in sight to this argument, to this upset. So I think however quickly this begins, it's going to be over just as quickly. That's what I see there. And it could just be an internal struggle as well. When we're dealing with swords energy, we're dealing with sort of, you know, your thoughts, beliefs, ideas, and opinions, possibly communication, but 10 to 1, it's internal communication. So it could just be an argument that you've had with yourself, could be with someone close to you as well, a Virgo individual or someone that you work with. Here in the foundation is the Knight of Pentacles, and this is where I'm looking at work and service, right? This is where we're looking at some mutable energy regarding Virgo, and Virgo is all about health, work, and service. It's a perfectionist. It's detailed. It's organized. There's a lot of organization here. So, you know, you could just be in process here with the first 2 weeks of the month, Scorpio, in organizing your own intuition and placing or replacing a reestablishing your own intuition, possibly after a little bit of, say, a lack of money or feeling left out, feeling misunderstood, because we do have this recent past with the Five of Pentacles, so 2 5s right together. Something was a letdown, that's for sure, right? But this is in the mind, and this is practical. This is what actually happened. But remember, the Five of Pentacles is often a perception. It's feeling left out, but not really being left out, or it's feeling left out, but not forever, or feeling left out, but it's not really your fault, this type of thing. But there is a perception here of being rejection. Again, 5s are all, they're 2 things to me. Number 1, they're very quick moving, like this might have happened, or this felt like it was going to happen, and then it's just gone, it's over. The other thing I found with 5s is that a 6 always follows, right? So balance is always, you know, a day away, or an hour, or a phone call, or a conversation, or a thought away. I do think it's interesting as well to see the Five of Pentacles bookend the central situation here for the month with death. So, I mean, it's like the literal end of it, right? A major transformation around a difficult situation that you could have grown from, or that could have even helped your intuition, or assisted or engaged your intuition, or your intuitive sensibilities to an even greater height. So like I said, something that could really upset or destroy somebody else that was relatively minor here is actually going to work for you. It's going to enhance your psychic abilities. It's going to enhance how you perceive things. The High Priestess is actually one of my favorite cards. This is Mother, Maiden, Crone. This is a very feminine energy as well. Even if you're a male Scorpio watching, this could be your feminine side, or a female in your environment who can probably see through you. This person is very, very perceptive. But perceptions could account for a lot right now too. So maybe, you know, count on your intuition, you know, count on what you're sensing, this type of thing. But the High Priestess is very, very powerful, right? She's a very, very powerful entity, and she's extremely knowledgeable. She has a great amount of wisdom, and, you know, she holds a lot of secrets. She holds a lot of secrets. She's very, very powerful. But inner wisdom, foresight, and certainly understanding, okay, understanding people's motives, including your own, is very, very important. And again, I really feel like you're going to get through something, even if someone else is telling you like, wow, what a letdown. And you're like, you know what? It's not that big of a deal to me because I see through this. And this could be, you know, your superpower this month here as well. And here's where I'm seeing you really getting over something intense that could have or even should have hurt or, you know, damaged someone else, where yours just like, again, bookending the 5 over here is the Scorpio Road Death card. The author of this deck calls it transformation. It really is. It's the Phoenix, and that's sort of what she's playing with in the palm of her hand. You know, something new becomes out of something that just fell apart or didn't work out, or something that was a letdown. Something new takes its place, and it's a greater inner wisdom or understanding here. So this is actually going to work for you. This is how I feel. The first 2 weeks of July is going to be like really, but also cool. I got it. Like, I got it. It's not a big deal. You're not even going to break a sweat over this. But I do feel like there's going to be a minor letdown or a minor upset or even a feeling or perception of that. But it's not going to last. It's going to be like over it, moving into the next direction. In the position of how you see yourself, however, is a Three of Swords. And this is, you know, it could have brought up or something could be brought up back from the past. So the threes, numerically speaking, are creative. But swords energy is the first energy in terms of, manifestation, which is the thought process. And whenever we see, this creative thought process around an old hurt, it's almost like we're bringing it with us, right? It's part of our story. It's part of how we make sense of what we go through. So in some way, how you see yourself is maybe an old wound was opened, maybe something you'd rather leave behind, something perhaps that you even thought you left behind maybe could come back up. Or you may just see yourself as this person like, I don't want to deal with this again, or I don't want to think about this again. You do have an opportunity to be creative about how you move into the future, but I do think acceptance is necessary in order to move away from this. Scorpio, everyone has three swords in their hearts. Everyone's sword or pain is different, and you are entitled to your own, and no one is ever going to be able to change the past, including you. And there are just three swords in every human's hearts that sometimes there is no healing from, and that could just be a takeaway for you today. Like, some things will just hurt forever, and it kind of doesn't matter how creative we are or what we do with it or how much over it we think we are or how much we've grown, that type of thing. And again, it could be triggered. It could have to do with the home, could have to do with a parental figure, could have to even to do with a wish, or a sense of stability. It is yours permanently though, like at least for the month of July, that something is extremely stabilized, particularly your home life. But yeah, this is just cropping its ugly head back up a little bit here. But again, it's how you see yourself, right? So, it could have to do with the conversation that you're having with yourself, or how you're exploring maybe healing and growing and servicing and intuiting a situation in order to grow from it. But this is definitely not going to kill you. Like, straight up, this is not going to destroy you. You are the phoenix, right? Like, Scorpio rules the death card. This is your energy. You are, and I don't think it's necessarily fair to say that you're the strongest card and therefore you can get through anything. Therefore, whatever life throws at you, you can definitely transform. That's kind of the Scorpio card though, right? It's this sense of like, it's part and parcel of your Mars and Pluto energy. It's that warrior spirit that goes deeper than any other energy. It goes deep and it sees all the dark and the dirty and the deep places, and it comes back the other side smarter and more resilient for it. So that's how I'm reading this. This is resilience here. So I digress. How others see you is someone who is just really in charge and someone who is full of victory. This is a classic victory card here, guys. Could be concerning your home, a mother, or a relationship around a relationship with a woman, or even a Cancer individual. More fourth house energy, as I said at the start here. But definitely having both your dark and your light sides, having this really nice, say, balance of this energy here, after having intuited it and seeing for yourself how to let the past go. So I really see yourself coming to your own aid, coming to your own protection and source of inspiration this month, particularly by the 3rd into the 4th week for you of July, guys. So really nice energy here with the Chariot in the position of how others see you. Even if you see yourself as someone who is maybe struggling, definitely the people around you are seeing you as someone who is full of victory with a lot of potential. So, just something to think about too. Like, if other people are seeing you as this incredibly self-empowered, victorious person, hopefully you can draw some inspiration from that as well, because, if these are mirroring you, you could be around other people with whom you find inspiration with and around, right? And definitely things are brewing behind the scenes that are very, very positive as well for your advice card. In your hopes and fears, we have this Six of Swords. So if you're gonna have a Swords energy, the Six is what we want. Six of Swords is really the kindest card out of all the swords, energy or air as it were. And the Six is a balance, right? We went from the Five, as you remember back here at the very beginning, to the Six. And this is your hopes around this conflict, and that is sailing away onto calm waters. That's all it is. It's taking information that you learn through a process of self-discovery, possibly conflict, and just saying, great, now I know. Let's keep moving into the future. I'm going to take those lessons and we're going to move into the future. There could be a family situation here as well, and there could be short-term travel as well, over water especially. Could be by boat. I would say by the time we're dealing with both the Chariot and the Six of Swords together, and we're dealing with this issue of home, you could be traveling. You could be traveling here over water. You could be traveling by car, really by any means, frankly. But home and travel are actually going to be possibly pretty important here by the last 2 weeks of the month. And then your advice card is Temperance, right? So this is really gorgeous energy. Like I said, we have some nice Jupiter energy here. And this is expansive. This is luck related. This is possibilities related. And when we're dealing with Temperance, we're dealing with something behind the scenes, sort of this alchemical, sort of, turning the lead into gold type thing. I think that there is an element of like inner magic. You can make something happen by believing it. By believing it and then acting like it. It's so funny because I've never heard anyone read the Temperance card in conjunction or in relation to the Magician card, but I do. And if you're a tarot reader, please comment below and tell me if you think that's crazy or not, or if you have any thoughts about that. But this is alchemy, right? And while the Magician, the number 1 card, has all the aces, you have everything in a practical sense in your hands that you can just go actually physically do. Temperance here is the wisdom of what you need. It's I'm going to get the secrets of what I need, and then I'm going to go apply them in a practical way as the Magician. But this is actually sourcing the information, and there could be a lot of aha moments here at the end of the month for you. Very exciting energy, particularly to end a reading or have an advice card as a major arcana. Very, very powerful. Also, very protective, right? When we're looking, we got the High Priestess, we have Temperance, and we have the Chariot. Like, you are protected. You are inspired and guided. I would say very practically. Really cool to see a lot of cards jump out of that deck. Let's get your oracle cards for you here, guys. Okie dokie. Our oracles are going to take up a little bit of time here. So let's get 2 more decks of oracles. I'm really excited to see this one. 100%. Divine timing. This could even just be a huge part of the first 2 weeks of July for you guys. It's just a sense of you thought something was going to go a certain way. Everyone has plans. We're all human. And it's just like something didn't go as planned, or something didn't land where you thought it would, that type of thing. And you're just like, oh, I got it. But like I said, it could trigger something old from the past. It could even be a secret to you. It could be something that you hold deep within your heart. It could be even it could be in your subconscious. And if that's the case, maybe it'll make itself known so you can tackle it. Or there could be an opportunity by the 3rd week here to say, oh, that's what that feeling is. That feeling is in relation to a thought process or something that I wasn't able to let go of. But again, Scorpio, I'm not picking on you. I want to mention quickly that the 3 of Swords, each and every human being, no matter what sign we are, all have, hypothetically speaking, not really, we have knives in our hearts, but every human being has at least 3 major traumas or triggers that we all have to live with from our past that really helped shape us, right? And then sort of what we do with that as human beings, right? How you can be creative about a pain or a trauma is our, that's what we're supposed to do with it in coming to terms with it. So that's what I see here. And definitely the people around you are seeing you as someone extremely victorious and full of, you know, just a lot of self-respect and a lot of energy. So here we have Sacred Spiral. We have Grouse jumping out of the medicine deck here. Sacred Spiral is very important because in conjunction in particular with the High Priestess, I would say that this is, you know, if you're not afraid of this type of wording, you know, sort of magician or witchcraft or even occult energy. I think that you have perhaps old soul. You can have some old wisdom, inner wisdom that you hadn't looked up before or didn't believe in or didn't want to look at. God knows I avoided this being, you know, tarot and occult and esoteric for a good 20 years of my life for lots of reasons. So this could just be maybe something you're going through as well, where you're just like, I'm just going to tap into this and see where it takes me and stop being so fearful. Could be a way to look at this as well, but definitely you're protected and guided. Could be even inspired by your history or your past, or something sacred to you. So we have a few jumping out from the Wisdom of the Oracle. A change in the wind, here and now, and then flexible. We'll start with flexible just because this is really about going with the flow. I mentioned here work, service, and health. We're looking at mutable energy. That just means going with the flow, literally. It just means going this way, that way without getting attached. So try that, especially the first 2 weeks of the month. Try not to get attached to too much, including outcomes, because they could be a little bit of a letdown, let's be honest. Especially if you're relying on something or relying on a feedback, or you thought you were going to get a yes, but you got a no, etc. It's going to be over the last 2 weeks of the month, but remain flexible here, guys. A change in the wind, and then here and now. Very curious to see both of these cards together. As you can see, there's, you know, this one is all about movement. This one is all about stillness. So just, even if things are shifting around you, you can be still. You can be still in your heart. You can be here and now, as opposed to focusing on the past or focusing on the future, right? So a change in the wind is actually very positive, but you're down for it. You got it. That's probably going to speak your language. You might even want to change. You might even be seeking that. And then here and now, and her little flag says, you know, you are here. And that's all we ever have, right? Look at the time. Ooh, okay, last few cards. Divine timing and surrender and release. So divine timing, so important. Here, I really do feel like you are protected. Whenever I see surrender and release, I see an opportunity to surrender worries and release all fears, right? So that's how I would use that card. But honestly, Scorpio, if you're seeing language or pictures or ideas here that I'm not saying, or that speak to you louder than what I'm saying, use it, right? Like if you see something in there that you find useful and I didn't say anything, just definitely go with your instincts, go with your intuition. Surrender and release, that all will be well. And then from the Romance Angels, we have new love. You deserve love, and calling in your soulmate. These are outrageously gorgeous, okay? So first of all, I see you deserve love jump out whenever someone feels down about themselves. So you deserve love. You are lovable. Gentle reminder, my dear Scorpios. New love, a new person has stirred your romantic feelings. So if this is a creation or a job reading for you and it's not romance, you can read that there. You know, a new person has stirred your creative feelings, that type of thing, right? Romantic could be interchanged, but a new love, all the same, absolutely beautiful. And like I said, something old from the past is going to be burned away, and something new and exciting is definitely approaching. And then calling in your soulmate, your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. So if you really have your heart set on something, whether it's a job, a lover, a spiritual advancement, whatever this is for you, Scorpio, you know, the more clear you are about it, the faster and sooner and more positively you'll bring it in. And look at what we ended with as your advice, right? This is the alchemist. You can think about it, you can create it, and then before long it'll be brought to you as the magician to go actually apply it. So pay attention to what you're praying for and affirming and visualizing, and I really feel like it's going to be brought to fruition for you by the end of the month. Or if, in any case, at the very least, it'll be brought to your awareness, and then you can do something about it. So Scorpio, I really hope you enjoyed that. Comment below if you have a second. Take care of yourselves, guys. I'll see you in the next video for your sign. Bye for now.